Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of WrestleMania 34. And WrestleMania 34 was held from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. And I gotta say, last night's WrestleMania, I enjoyed it. I have to say it wasn't the best Mania, in my opinion. Wasn't a perfect Mania by any means, but it was very enjoyable. It was a very enjoyable show. It did have its problems, though, but it was an enjoyable show. But however, it didn't top NXT Takeover New Orleans. NXT Takeover New Orleans, fantastic show from beginning to end. You had Adam Cole winning the first ever NXT North American Championship. Shayna Baszler winning the NXT Women's Championship, which probably now Amber Moon's going to come up to the main roster. You had Johnny Wrestling, being Tommaso Ciampa, to win back, to come back into NXT. And all in all, it was just a fantastic show, NXT TakeOver New Orleans. But this is on WrestleMania. So I'm going to start with the three matches that were on the pre-show. It kicked off, the pre-show kicked off with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This is the fifth Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Matt Hardy ended up winning it because it was down to Matt Hardy, Mojo Rawley, and Baron Corbin. Then from out of nowhere, Bray Wyatt is in the ring. He appears in the ring. He ends up helping Matt Hardy eliminate Mojo Rawley. Baron Corbin ended up hitting the end of days on Bray Wyatt, and led to Matt Hardy throwing Corbin over the top. So Matt Hardy wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Then, after it, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt end up hugging it out, and seems like it's like, they're like Bray Wyatt's gonna be like maybe Matt Hardy's tag team partner, maybe, but hopefully we'll see where WWE ends up taking this with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I could see a potential tag team with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, because we haven't seen Bray Wyatt since the Ultimate Deletion match. So, but all in all, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, it was decent. I mean, my pick was Matt Hardy to win the Battle Royal. So then we had Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali for the Cruiserweight Championship. This was a good match, a really awesome match. Both these guys did a good job. Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali, they were very entertaining. Although the crowd reaction to this, they were pretty dead during the beginning and the middle of the match. But then they started cheering once a little bit, where a little bit towards the end. And Cedric Alexander got the win. He hit the lumbar check on Mustafa Ali to win it. So Cedric Alexander is the new Cruiserweight champion, which I'm really happy about, because he deserves the Cruiserweight title. Just a very entertaining guy in the ring. So glad he won it. He was my pick to win the Cruiserweight championship. I said, I would like to see him as a Cruiserweight champion, and it actually did. Actually, he won it. So, but all in all, it was a good match. It was a very entertaining match. Then we had the last match that was on the pre-show, which was the first ever WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. And this whole match was built on Sasha and Bayley, so they could continue their little feud. Sasha ended up eliminating Sarah Logan. towards the end of the Women's Battle Royal. And then it was just down to Sasha and Bayley. You had one point where Bianca Belair, which there was NXT women superstars in the match, like Peyton Royce, Bianca Belair, Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, and there was a few. There was like a couple of others from the Mae Young Classic. But there was at one point in the match where you had Bianca Belair, and she whipped Becky Lynch with her, that long hair that she has, and it was very loud. It was a very loud whip. But all in all, it came down to Sasha Banks and Bayley, and Bayley ended up eliminating Sasha, and then we come to find out that Naomi was still in the match. Naomi ends up hitting the rear view on Bayley, which is a stupid finisher in my opinion, though. But she ends up eliminating Bayley, so Naomi wins the first ever WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. I mean, which is fine. I don't think anybody was picking Naomi to win it, because people thought, oh, maybe Sasha or maybe Bayley, but it ended up being Naomi. So, but the match, the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, it was decent. So those were your 3 matches that were on the pre-show. Now we're going to get to the matches. The first match that kicked off the show. I was talking to 2 of my friends. I was like, we were predicting on what the first match would be. And I was like, maybe it will be the triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. And then it was announced. That was the first match. I was like, oh, I was right. So that's what the first match was. It was a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus Finn Balor. Seth Rollins had a really good special entrance where he came out from. One of my friends said it was like a Game of Thrones type thing that Rollins was doing, and what was really cool is that he had the blue sort of contacts in his eyes, which was really cool. The Miz had his special entrance. He came out with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, and Miz ended up telling them, "Oh, I don't need you guys' help." So he ends up sending both Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas to the back. Then we have Finn Balor come out with his new shirt, which he was supporting the gay and lesbian community, which is cool. It was really awesome. And I was expecting, people were expecting him to be the Demon King because, since it's WrestleMania, for when we saw Finn Balor in NXT, in every takeover he would dress as the Demon King. But I forgot to say, don't even remember when the last time we saw Finn Balor as the Demon King. I think it was SummerSlam of last year. But the match itself, it was the best. It was the first best match of the night. I really enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. It was back and forth between the 3 of them. You had Seth Rollins do his suplex, which counted it into the Falcon Arrow, which I really love when he does that move, where he does the suplex and he does the Falcon Arrow and counters it with that. But the match ended with Finn Balor hitting the coup de grace on Miz. Seth Rollins ends up stomping Balor, and then he ends up stomping Miz. He goes to pin Miz, and he becomes the Intercontinental Champion, the new Intercontinental Champion, Seth Rollins. So I'm fine with that. Although I want to see Finn Balor win the title because he hasn't held a title since he relinquished the Universal title. So, but I'm happy for Seth Rollins. I'm a fan of Seth Rollins. Glad to see that he won the Intercontinental title. I think he's a Grand Slam champion now after winning the Intercontinental title. So, but yeah, all in all, it was a good match. First best match of the night, in my opinion. And what was really funny was we saw John Cena. He came to WrestleMania as a fan. He was sitting there. He was drinking a beer. He was, chilling with fans there. And he didn't come in with his shirt. The "You Can't See Me" shirt. He was the shirt that he had was just a WrestleMania shirt that said WrestleMania New Orleans on it. So they kept on cutting back to Cena, watching the match. But then the next match, it was Charlotte versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title. This was the second best match of the night. It was very entertaining. It was back and forth between the both of them. Both these women gave it all they got in this match. Charlotte had a special entrance where it played her father's old song, and the whole entrance was really fantastic. Asuka had a fantastic entrance where I guess it was like 3D or something, where it showed like her mask. Same with the Miz. I forgot to mention the Miz's entrance had like the 3D kind of graphics there before he came out. So, but really liked that, with Asuka, them showing her mask on there. But you had Charlotte hitting a Spanish fly from the top to Asuka. You had Charlotte doing the moonsault, and Asuka countered that, which was really awesome. And the end of the match, Charlotte got the win. She still retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. She ended up winning it because she locked in the figure 8 on Asuka. Then after the match, Asuka ended up saying to Charlotte that Charlotte was ready for her, and she ends up congratulating Charlotte. So Charlotte, the first woman to she was the first ever woman to break Asuka's undefeated streak. So which probably everybody knew that probably Asuka's streak was gonna be broken at WrestleMania, or Asuka would have won the SmackDown Women's Championship and kept it going, kept her undefeated streak going. But we didn't get Carmella coming out to cash in her Money in the Bank. So because everybody was speculating that she was going to cash it in at WrestleMania, but she didn't. But Charlotte versus Asuka, second best match of the night. It was really awesome match, really good. Then also after the match, you had a ref come, and he tells Cena something which we couldn't hear. And then Cena ends up jumping over the barricade, and he runs up the ramp, runs to the back. So, gave us a clue that probably the Undertaker is in the building, in the Superdome. So then we had the Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship. Jinder Mahal versus Rusev versus Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. This match was okay. Not the best match of the night. The crowd was behind Rusev 100% during this match. But you had Randy Orton RKO'ing Rusev. He RKO'd Aiden English. Then he tried to RKO Bobby Roode, but Bobby Roode reversed it. But Jinder Mahal ended up getting the win with the Colossus. So Jinder Mahal is the new United States champion. God, are we gonna get the same? We're gonna get the same reign that he had with the WWE Championship, which those months that Jinder Mahal was WWE Champion, those were pretty awful months, for SmackDown television last year. So what we're going to get? We're going to get the same reign for the United States Championship with Jinder Mahal. I don't see why WWE didn't put the title on Rusev. And from watching this, you can see why Rusev wanted his release from WWE before WrestleMania. Now this match proved it, because Rusev was just put in here so he could be just beaten by Jinder Mahal. Man, oh man. They should have put it on Rusev. Why Jinder Mahal? Why? They didn't learn from when he was WWE Champion. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Then we had Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. Triple H came out with a special entrance. He had the same entrance like last year, but minus, the Orlando Police. It's like it was the same old. It was the same old from last year. It was bland. I'm sorry to say. Sorry, I like Triple H. I like how he supports the business, how he supports the company, and is the guy behind NXT. But really, he needs to do better. Have a more original special entrance. If he competes at future WrestleManias, because the last good special entrance that Triple H had was at WrestleMania 32. In my opinion. But Ronda Rousey actually surprising in this match. She surprised all of everyone in the Superdome. She was good, I gotta say. Kurt Angle was pretty good also. Although at some points you had Kurt Angle and Triple H down, and it was just Ronda Rousey and Stephanie going at it. Ronda Rousey actually ended up putting Stephanie in an armbar, which was pretty awesome to see. And Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle picked up the win because Ronda locked an armbar on Stephanie. Looked like she tried to broke Stephanie's arm. So Stephanie ended up tapping, and so Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle won the match, which was really awesome. So probably on Raw tonight, we're going to see Stephanie in probably like a cast. So I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised. But yeah, all in all, one thing I forgot to say in this match, that Kurt Angle and Triple H were still the legal stars, in the match. So, it was all over the place in the end with, Ronda Rousey and Stephanie, which, Kurt Angle and Triple H were the legal men in the match. But it was a good match. Really liked it. So, then we had the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, versus the Usos and the New Day. This match was decent. Although I predicted that the Bludgeon Brothers were going to win, and they actually did win the match. I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised that they won and are the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, because since Harper and Rowan came back to SmackDown, they've been dominant as the Bludgeon Brothers. Aside from with them having to face jobbers and pinning them and taking all the jobbers out, those jobbers out that they fought. So I'm not surprised that the Bludgeon Brothers are the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I knew it was coming. So all in all, the match itself, it was decent. Then we had John Cena coming out waiting if, Taker is going to, show an official. A ref comes in, and we don't know what the ref is telling Cena. We can't hear it. So Cena ends up going up the ramp. And the lights go out. We all think Undertaker is going to come out, but it actually ends up being Elias. I'm like, oh my god. Oh man, we can't have a WrestleMania without. We can't have a good WrestleMania with this guy here. Elias comes out and he was like, "Oh, you thought you were expecting someone else, right?" And so he just starts singing, about New Orleans. He tells Cena to go back into the crowd, and just watch the show. And so Elias just puts on a little performance. He ends up saying John Cena sucks, and makes Cena's not happy with that. So Cena ends up going over the barricade and going in the ring. Ends up taking down Elias. He ends up hitting Elias with the 5-knuckle shuffle, and then an attitude adjustment. Then Cena's just in the ring. He ends up his music ends up playing. He walks up the ramp and stops because his music ended up stopping. Then we see the lights go out, and we see Taker's hat and coat are in the ring. Had the spotlight on it, and a lightning bolt then struck the hat and the coat. Lights went out again, and we see that the hat and coat are gone from the ring. Then Taker's the gongs from Taker and the playing. Then we see Taker end up coming out, and the scared look on Cena's face during that looked like he shit his pants. But yeah, so then we had the match. I mean, I wasn't expecting that we were going to get this match because it wasn't advertised, but we all knew it though either way. So Undertaker and John Cena got underway. The match itself was just a squash match. Although Taker moved really good in this match. He was better in this match than he was last year with Roman Reigns, which, looking back at the main event from last year, which was him versus Roman, looked like Taker wasn't ready for the match with Roman. But yeah, Taker moved really good in this match. He did old school on Cena. And then the end of the match, Taker ended up hitting a tombstone pile driver on Cena to score the win. So yeah, so Undertaker won the match. It was just a squash match. Wasn't a perfect match by any means though. But it was just squash. It was just a squash match. Then we had Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If Shane and Daniel won, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will be off of SmackDown permanently. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn could go to Raw. And the match itself, the beginning, you had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn attack Shane and Daniel from behind. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, picked up Daniel, and then Kevin Owens just hit a power bomb on Daniel on the ring apron, and so Daniel Bryan was taken out for maybe 15 minutes of the match. So it was just Shane taking out Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And then Daniel Bryan got back later, and the crowd was just really behind Daniel in this match. It's Daniel Bryan's first match in 3 years. His comeback, return the ring, and it was great. It was good seeing Daniel Bryan doing his moves again, and the crowd was just chanting yes, yes, yes. which was awesome. But Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan win the match. Daniel applies the S-Lock to Sami Zayn to score the win for him and Shane. So it was a good match. It was a really enjoyable match. Although the rumored heel turn from either Shane or Daniel didn't happen. So glad about that. So, but it was a good match. And so the next match that we had, it was Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. This match, it was okay. It was just Nia, just tossing around Alexa. Alexa actually came down with Mickie James, and before the match, Nia ended up taking out Mickie James. So it would just be one-on-one with Nia and Alexa. But Nia won the match with the cool, finisher. She ended up hitting a Samoan drop from the second rope on Alexa to score the win. So Nia wins the Raw Women's Championship. It's the new Raw Women's Champion, and I'm happy about that. Happy that Nia, won the matches and is the new Raw Women's Champion. Pretty awesome. Then we had AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the Dream Match. This is for the WWE Championship. And the match itself, I have to say it was decent. It was an enjoyable match. It was back and forth between Styles and Nakamura. It's not the first time that both of them went at it. First time I heard that they went at it in New Japan, I think in the Tokyo Dome. But they're saying it's a dream match for WWE, and it was enjoyable. Styles ended up winning the match with the Styles Clash to Nakamura. So AJ Styles still retains the WWE title. You have after the match, both guys end up giving respect to each other. Nakamura ends up handing the title to Styles, and then Nakamura turns heel, and he low blows AJ Styles, and then when they're on the outside, Nakamura ends up hitting a Kinshasa to AJ Styles outside. So Nakamura, turns heel. Wonder what WWE is going to do with Nakamura's. How they're going to make how they're going to do this heel thing with Nakamura. So we have to wait till Tuesday night to see what happens. But all in all, Styles versus Nakamura was a good match. It was, decent match. Then we had Braun Strowman and his mystery partner versus Cesaro and Sheamus. The Bar. Cesaro and Sheamus come out. They have a special interest. They come out on like a Mardi Gras-like float. Strowman ends up coming out, and all like the people that are dressed in like the Mardi Gras style costumes, they were run in, and Strowman he ends up pushing the float off the stage, and the front of the float ends up breaking. So Strowman ends up coming down, and he says he waited to WrestleMania to say who his partner will be. He ends up saying it's not a person in the locker room, and he says it's one of the people from the crowd. And so he goes into the crowd, and he ends up choosing this boy, which at first I thought it was a girl because it had long hair, and the boy's name was Nicholas. And from the reports I read, he is one of the WWE refs, officials' son. And the match got started. was pretty much, stupid match, in my opinion. Braun Strowman just decimates Cesaro and Sheamus. One point in the match, he had Cesaro and Sheamus double suplexing Strowman, which was really crazy. I wouldn't expect Cesaro and Sheamus to suplex Strowman because of how big he is. But Strowman and his partner, the kid, Nicholas, end up getting the win because Strowman ended up hitting the running power slam on Cesaro. So, but it was stupid. It was a stupid match in my opinion. Having Braun Strowman and a kid be a tag team champions. I have to say, maybe tonight on Raw, he's gonna probably end up losing the Raw tag team titles, but who knows? A lot of people in the crowd said, "Oh, it might have been like a Make-A-Wish kid." No, it wasn't. A Make-A-Wish kid. It was one of the refs' sons. So then we get to the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, which I thought, everyone thought Roman was going to win it. But Brock Lesnar, this match was really boring in my opinion. This was a boring main event. When the match started, the crowd was chanting, "This is awful, this is awful." And, even the crowd didn't want to see this match. I saw a video, during this match, they were hitting beach balls around. It was Beach Ball Mania there. They were still chanting, "This is awful." Because the match itself, it was just suplexes, 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 F5s, F5s, F5s. I think Brock Lesnar hit like six suplexes to Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns kicked out of every one of them. Even the F5s he kicked out of. One F5, Brock Lesnar put Roman through the table with the F5. And Roman Reigns was busted open because we saw like the blood on his arm, and his face was all bloodied up. But Brock Lesnar ended up getting the win because I guess Roman Reigns was going to go for the spear, but Brock countered it, hit another F5 to Roman Reigns to score the win. So Brock Lesnar still retains the Universal title, which WWE, I think in itself, I think to them that, if they would have had Roman win the match, that crowd would have just rioted. And, I guess, WWE didn't want that. Didn't want that to happen. And, this is like the fourth WrestleMania that Roman Reigns has main evented, which I think after this, please don't put Roman in another WrestleMania main event next year, WrestleMania 35. Please don't do it because it's not working. It's not working, Vince. So please, no more Roman in a main event at WrestleMania, please. So, but yeah, the match itself, it was horrible. It was awful match, awful main event for Mania to end the show. So, yeah, so anyways, that's it for my review of WrestleMania 34. Let me know what you all thought of the show. I gotta say, the stage for this year's WrestleMania, I thought it was pretty good looking. It was very colorful. For some reason, I like last year's better. Last year's had the roller coaster, like sort of like amusement roller coaster setting. Where you had the big WrestleMania globe. I'd say I like that better, but this year's stage wasn't bad looking. So yeah. So anyways, that's it for this video. Let me know what you all thought in the comments below the show. In the comments what you thought of the show. Did you like it? Did you hate it? really like to see what you guys thought. So thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all back here later tonight for my Raw review, which, you know, it's the Raw after WrestleMania. It's going to be hopefully a decent show, because the Raws after WrestleMania are considered, you know, the best Raws of the year. So we're going to get, you know, a hot crowd tonight, hopefully. So, yeah, so anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all later tonight for my Raw review. Bye.